Let's go ahead and talk about The Secret, or in this case, my very limited knowledge of the synopsis of the book. The internet tells me that the basis for the entire book of The Secret is this governing entity called the Law of Attraction. And as someone who's a self-proclaimed science lover, I'm gonna have some issues with this. My initial problem with the Law of Attraction is that it makes it sound scientific when there is no such scientific law. I should already tell you where my loyalties lie when it comes to this book. To quote what I read on the internet, which yes, I know that you should never ever quote the internet. For example, some people think that using The Secret can cure cancer. Pseudoscience doesn't cure cancer! You know what does cure cancer? Things like physically removing the mutated cells from the body or blasting them with radiation. Listen, if your book purports ideas not founded in science and passes them off as scientific reasoning, you're gonna have a bad time. But okay, let's suspend my disbelief for the length of this video, because otherwise we wouldn't have anything to talk about for 4 minutes. To say that I just need to wish really, really hard in order to get $40,000 and then it will just magically appear, that notion is ridiculous. In order to obtain something like $40,000, you need to work extremely hard and find ways to obtain money. Because that's how you get money, is you find ways that give you money and you'll have money. Now let's say I use the positivity in my brain in order to ensure that positive steps happen so that I then get that $40,000. Yes, that could indeed happen, but you know how you could get it a lot faster? By using negative steps like murder for hire. I can absolutely guarantee that if you use positive steps and I use only negative steps, I will obtain the money much, much quicker than you will. And I think this brings up a good question that may be at the forefront of your mind. Why doesn't everyone just hurt each other for personal gains? Why don't we live in the fictional universe of The Purge? The answer is because 1, most of us have this set of rules and boundaries called morality, and 2, the ends never ever justify the means. How you actually go about obtaining a goal matters. I cured poverty and world hunger by being the only person left on the planet. I think we can both agree that that is not an acceptable way in order to fix those problems. Just because positive thinking may not yield results, it can bring happiness. And I think that's when people should look at positive thinking. Instead of wanting things to happen because you're seeing the good in people or a situation, see the positive side of stuff because it actually makes you a happier person. The reason that it's so much easier to find and hold on to those negative experiences is because it's a survival mechanism. Your crazy brain is once again trying to make patterns and connections in order to help you survive. When I eat a piece of chocolate and it makes me projectile vomit, my brain makes the connection that chocolate is then poison and I shouldn't eat it ever. When a negative experience happens, your brain remembers that and says, okay, noted, let's not do that again because it sucks. When something positive happens, your brain does register it, just not as well as if it were a negative experience because you're not in mortal peril. Panic! That's why it's really easy for you to remember that time your brother gave you food poisoning instead of that time where he, I'm sure there was at least that one time that you did something nice. Maybe. While finding the positive side of any given situation is more difficult, it will make you a happier person in the end. But not because you're gaining physical goods through that method. And that is where I think The Secret fails. Danny, I will see you tomorrow. Does your bass need to be that loud? Train! Wow, it doesn't mean it doesn't. I say doesn't 3 times in this sentence. Triple negative.